There's a clear change of tone at conference. You know, the doom and gloom is sort of giving away to a bit more of the future. I mean, how happy and optimistic are you feeling now?
I've never been more optimistic about our country's future. And the last few years, instability and chaos has held back our country, but now we are returning stability to our public finances, and we're making the pro-business, the pro-growth reforms. Well, I had a choice to make when I learnt of the inheritance and the £22 billion black hole in the public finances. I could have either continued with the Conservative approach of covering that up, or I could have been honest and transparent with people.
Three things happen in this explosive interview. Rachel Reeves attempts to justify £876 in free entertainment. A news host refuses to accept her excuses, and the true disconnect between politicians and public becomes painfully obvious. The Chancellor's claim about security concerns necessitating VIP treatment at concerts crumbles under basic questioning. Watch as she's forced to admit she won't accept such tickets in the future. A telling admission of impropriety. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Let's examine Rachel Reeves' curious justification for accepting those free Sabrina Carpenter concert tickets worth £600 and theater tickets valued at £276. When confronted about these luxury freebies, the Chancellor quickly retreated behind what many are calling the security shield, claiming that her position now prevents her from simply purchasing tickets like an ordinary citizen.
The £500 is the plans that we inherited. So the spring budget, the last budget from Jeremy Hunt in spring 2024, compared with the plans that I set out yesterday for this Parliament. We have brought in record investment over the last few months to the UK, including at the International Investment Summit last year, where we brought in over £60 billion worth of investment. I recognise that any tax change has consequences. Inflation was out of control, and there was so much uncertainty that businesses didn't have the confidence to invest. So we have drawn a line under that economic mismanagement. It did require a number of difficult decisions.
In her own stammering words, I do recognize how it looks to people. With it does come security concerns that I'm not able, like I was in the past, just to buy tickets for a concert and sit with my family. She further insisted that, for security reasons, I did take tickets in a box. Notice the hesitation in her phrasing, those repeated uhs and ums, speaking volumes about her comfort level with this explanation. The timing raises immediate questions. When exactly did these pressing security concerns materialize? Has the Chancellor's safety situation changed so dramatically that standard ticketing procedures suddenly became impossible? The implication that VIP box seats, conveniently not available to the general public, were the only viable solution strains credibility. This explanation presents a troubling vision of public service where elevated positions automatically entitle officials to elevated experiences. What makes this situation particularly tone-deaf is the stark contrast between Reeves's luxury perks and the economic hardships facing ordinary British families.
The scale of the challenge and how the path ahead is harder and steeper than we could have envisaged on the 4th of July. I thought it was right to be open and honest, but also set out a path to bring stability back to the public finances. I know we can bring that investment back to Britain to grow our economy, to improve living standards and bring good jobs, paying decent wages right across our country.
Okay, so let's look at your growth strategy. I mean, what is your plan?
We need to boost investment, both public and private. The Treasury that I now run needs to take into account the benefits, not just the costs of investment, and we need to leverage in that private sector investment.
While the Chancellor enjoys premium entertainment from the comfort of VIP boxes, her Treasury implements policies that directly impact working people's ability to afford even basic necessities. The visual and moral disconnect is striking. A government official preaching fiscal responsibility while simultaneously accepting expensive gifts that most constituents could never afford. This isn't just about concert tickets, it's about the growing chasm between those who govern and those being governed. When politicians become accustomed to preferential treatment, how can they possibly understand the daily financial calculations of average citizens? The security excuse conveniently creates a scenario where luxury becomes necessity, a dangerous precedent that normalizes privilege as an essential component of public service. Numerous other political figures manage to attend public events without requiring complimentary VIP accommodations. Many purchase tickets through normal channels or arrange security without demanding special treatment. The argument that Reeves's position uniquely requires free premium seating doesn't hold up to scrutiny when compared to her colleagues who maintain both security and ethical standards simultaneously. Perhaps most revealing was her body language throughout the interview. As the host pointed out, Reeves tried to brush off the backlash with a classic line.
So what are those measures going to yield? I mean, you must have done the modelling. You know, how much is reforming planning going to add to growth?
Look, the Office of Budget Responsibility will be the arbiter of the growth impact. We'll set out more detail of that in the budget and the spending review, but already we have called in planning decisions around onshore wind, housing and data centres to unlock the private sector investment
So how
in
much
sectors
growth
like...
will the National Wealth Fund deliver?
Look, you add it all up and we'll set out in the Office of Budget Responsibility the impact of these changes.
But her physical discomfort told a different story. The nervous speech patterns, defensive posturing, and apparent anxiety suggest someone who recognized the weakness in her justification even as she delivered it. This wasn't the confident explanation of someone who truly believed in the legitimacy of her actions. The Chancellor's half-hearted promise, "I'm not intending to take concert tickets in the future," speaks volumes. If security concerns genuinely necessitated these special arrangements, why abandon them going forward? This commitment contradicts her entire security rationale. Either the security concerns were legitimate and will continue to exist, meaning she should maintain similar arrangements, or they were exaggerated from the beginning to justify accepting valuable perks. Her qualifying statement that "I felt I was doing the right thing, but I do understand perceptions," further undermines her position. This isn't about perceptions, it's about actions and their consequences. By framing criticism as merely a matter of optics, Reeves attempts to dismiss substantive ethical questions as simple misunderstandings. The contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. If security truly demanded these special arrangements, then discontinuing them would create a security risk. By promising to stop accepting such tickets, Reeves tacitly admits that her original justification was inadequate. You cannot simultaneously claim something is a security necessity and then casually discard it when facing public criticism. What's particularly troubling is the assumption that the public would accept such a flimsy explanation without question. This reflects a certain institutional arrogance, the belief that power insulates officials from meaningful accountability. When politicians offer transparent excuses that collapse under the slightest scrutiny, they communicate a fundamental disrespect for voters' intelligence. What's truly telling about this whole affair isn't just the freebies, it's the lack of remorse. Reeves appears more interested in perks than principles, painting a picture of someone enjoying VIP treatment while implementing policies that squeeze ordinary families. This disconnect between words and actions erodes public trust in our institutions. When politicians prioritize luxury over accountability, they reveal how power can distort perception of what's appropriate. The deeper concern extends beyond concert tickets or theater seats. It's about the integrity of government itself. Public officials must understand that accountability isn't just about following rules. It's about maintaining the sacred trust between those who govern and those being governed.